So, character profile this week is the one and only Karl Munro. Of course, we managed to catch someone on their leaving week for a change, unlike the last few characters that have left.
They're so clever.
Tell me about Karl Munro, Gemma.
He was born on the 27th of April 1963, and he first appeared on the 17th of June 2011. Before then, he was living in the vacuum of space.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. His final appearance was on Friday, the 13th of September 2013.
Wait a minute, that sounds like a familiar date.
Yeah. His number of appearances was around 300.
Yeah, roughly 300.
And he was played by John Mitchie.
Yeah, so he was announced to be cast on the 15th of April 2011. And on his casting, he said, "My mum's from Rochdale, my wife..."
Did he say it like that?
Well, yeah, he's John Mitchie is Scottish, isn't he? So actually he talked like this. "My mum's from Rochdale, my wife's from Grimethorpe. They're both northerners and huge fans. I'm even from further north, so Coronation Street's the only sort for me." I'm sure he said it like that.
To him, is it not Poncy Southerners?
Yeah.
Oh, you Poncy Southerners, you stupid little soppy soaps.
How did you find his Mancunian accent?
I thought it was absolutely spot on.
I don't think he does too bad a job. But then I don't have a problem with like even Stella's accent, which everyone hates, don't they?
I don't know. All these Northerners sound the same to me.
Well, there was that article that was on the Coronation Street blog this week about how many Yorkshire accents there are when it should be Lancashire accents. I can't tell the difference. But anyway, I remember when him and Michelle Collins were cast, and everyone was like, "We can't have these people in our soaps.
How dare they?
That's how they come to Coronation Street." But I thought he did a good enough job. But I'm no expert. I'm sure that if I was from that part of the world, I would be outraged.
Well, when I'm in Coronation Street, I think I'm just going to ask to play somebody from the south.
Yeah, I think
because I don't
you're
think
better
there's
off
any
doing
point.
that.
I don't even know where I would start from this.
So, a bit of history for the character. All we find out before his time on the street is that he used to work at Stella's pub in Rochdale, and their eyes met across the bar or something. And they started a relationship. So they came into Coronation Street as partner, obviously not married, and he got a job in streetcars. What was that gasp for?
That was me saying they're not married.
I know, shocking. The first storyline that he was kind of majorly involved in was he was a gambling addict. Do you remember he won £1,000 playing poker with Kieran McCarthy, and that had been Kieran's wedding savings for marrying Michelle, I think. That was only 2.
How times have changed.
I know. Like, Kieran is like, he's gone totally out of my head. I never really liked him. He's too much.
Silly.
He was just Keith Duffy on Coronation Street. And I've really forgotten that he'd been engaged to Michelle. But anyway,
they were made for each other.
He got the gambling bug, and although he won a lot of money, he lost it all, which was a lesson to us all.
That's the whole point of gambling.
Yeah.
Win some, you lose some.
And just in case that you didn't get the message from that storyline, they had it again not long later when
Do not gamble.
Gambling is wrong, according to Coronation Street.
If you've had any issues with gambling based on this episode, please make sure to contact your local Gamblers Anonymous Association, who will be able to provide you with helpful leaflets.
And also other episodes of Coronation Street to watch. So that
you'll get the idea that it's really bad. Really, don't do it.
So that was him in 2011. In 2012, that was when he started this affair with Sunita, which won our Bobbins Award last year in the Conversation Street Awards, because we thought that was very, very silly.
But
not at all suited to each other. They got there in the end. I'm sure that they were thinking this would happen all along.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe when they started putting him together with Sunita. It was a dreadful pairing. She would never have chosen.
No,
what did she see in him? They totally ruined her with that storyline.
They ruined her. They made a silly storyline, and they only slightly redeemed themselves with the finale.
Yeah, well, they were nearly caught by Dev and Kevin a number of times. They split up, they reunited, they were caught in the act by Stella because and Sunita had known that Stella was coming back to the Rovers, but she still got Karl to seduce her there anyway. So
what a minx.
Yeah. So Carl was thrown out, sacked by Lloyd for some reason, and then he moved in with Stella, and that not with Stella, with Sunita, and that just didn't work because
it was terrible.
It just revealed him to be the lazy layabout slacker that he was,
selfish toad,
but not the kind of like Stan Ogden kind of layabout, the kind of lovable
loser.
Yeah, but no, he was just useless.
He was just a miserable, nasty, selfish, slimy, horrible, inconsiderate,
occasional fire alarm salesman.
Yeah, bit of a chancer.
Yeah,
totally lacking in skill or cunning.
Yeah, and Sunita soon picked this up, so she got totally fed up.
Well, she kind of tried to kid herself that it was going okay for a long time.
Yeah.
But she realised that he was a wronger.
Well, he realised that it wasn't working.
He realised he was a wronger.
Because he never got on with Adi and Asha, and that he was, I can't remember whether it was it last year or this year that he was drunk at their birthday party. I can't remember. But he was like he obviously didn't respect Sunita at all.
No, he
just like the idea of having a younger woman, and he soon got tired of her.
I don't even think he thought that far ahead, really. He just kind of fell into the next best possible situation when he got kicked out by Stella. Yeah. Because he would have been homeless, really.
Well, he started begging Stella to take her back by the end of last year, but she refused, even when Gloria took his side. Gloria
bloody loved Carl.
I know. I think probably she might have changed her mind about him now.
She'll be down there. No, I tell you, we haven't seen the last of Carl. She'll be down there paying off his bail and going, Stella, I just don't think you understood what he was trying to say was that he was sorry. Okay, he did it, he admitted it now, so you should take him back because he's an honest man.
Yeah,
and you're married.
I really don't know what she saw in him. I guess she just liked the idea of Stella finally having a man. But
the thing about it is, I kind of would have liked it if she had been a bit more comical, or they would have made a bit more of a deal about the fact that Gloria loves Carl so much. But it seems like not even the people that made the soap realise how dedicated Gloria was to Carl, because it just seemed so improbable that she continuously took his side in every situation. And we seem to be the only ones that notice how blind she was to his faults.
Yeah, yeah.
It would have been hilarious if they had made a bit more of a deal about it.
Yeah.
Or they at least had a nod and a wink as to, we know this is crazy.
Yeah, but the opportunity has passed now.
It's too late now.
Yeah, by the end of last year, he'd been kicked out by Sunita and moved into a bedsit. Things are looking bad for him. So this year, he was obviously very supportive of Gloria after Eric died. Do you remember old Eric? Eric Babbage?
Eric Moneybags Babbage.
Yeah, and he started helping behind the bar. Well, she was like, oh, Stella, he's not so bad, is he? Let him come and work. And he kind of was like slowly worming himself back into Stella's life towards the beginning of this year. But then she starts seeing Jason, another bizarre pairing, and he was like trying to win her back. He locked her in his taxi, torched Jason's van to try and split them up, and then he went and burned down the Rovers, as we've been talking about a lot already this episode.
I forgot he did that.
He managed to get an invite to live at number 13 with the rest of the Prices because he was Stella's knight in shining armour. Do you remember when he confessed all that time? When was it at Sunita's funeral that he confessed to Stella that he killed Sunita? And she was like, "Oh, you mean you feel like you did because
you feel guilty because you loved her and she would never have split with Dev unless you'd moved in with her. But it's not your fault."
I was half expecting in today's episode for her to say, "Oh, that time when you confessed, you weren't kidding."
He should have gone, "Remember when I told you and you wouldn't listen to me? This is all your fault, you brought it on yourself."
And then since then he's just been basically ducking
causing
and diving, trying to avoid Dev.
Yeah.
He did try to kill Dev with Addy's golf trophy at one point. That was kind of exciting.
Yeah. He's tried to bash a lot of people over the head but chickened out at the last minute.
Yeah.
Obviously fire is his most comfortable weapon.
Yeah, his weapon of choice.
Yeah.
How do you think? I mean, we talked about how his comeuppance compared to other villains, but in the end, does he rank alongside the greats of Richard Hillman, Alan Bradley, Charlie Stubbs, or is he just a bit of a loser that ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time? Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard for me to tell because sometimes I look back on people with great fondness that in fact I hated at the time. I don't hate him.
I've enjoyed watching how the storyline has ended, but all of last year I didn't like Karl.
No, I didn't like him when he was mucking around with Sunita.
And he was never really a villain back then. He was just a totally
Irritating.
useless article.
A bit like Tim.
Yeah, and he was never been as menacing as, say, Richard was.
No, because he
he's
only
just a
ever
bit
killed
pathetic.
someone by accident.
Yeah, he was just sort of weaselly and pathetic, but
I think it's good to have characters like that.
he's not a pantomime villain, is he?
Yeah.
You can say that.
They can't all be running around with leather gloves trying to kill old ladies.
Yeah, so that's the last we'll see of him, I think.
But you've got this quote here.
I've got some quotes. This was Kieran Roberts on Karl when John Mitchell was cast. As Robbie Ross and Taggart, John has kept viewers on the edge of their seats for the last 10 years. Karl is a very different character for him, though, and the ladies of Weatherfield need to watch themselves, as their sexy charmer will quickly make his presence felt.
It always makes me laugh to read what they intended. Do they know now? Have they figured out that they are really, really bad at like coming up with concepts for characters that they stick to?
Yeah, who did Karl go after?
Is he a sexy charmer? Was anyone ever under his spell? I don't think so.
No.
I mean, no.
No. So, yeah, that didn't really work out. Mitchie, on his exit, has said, I said to the new producer, please, I know Karl has to go. I should be doing my Scottish accent here. But I hope it's not strung out for too long. I'd rather have a short, sharp, quick ending. Because sometimes I think stories are strung out and people begin to lose interest. It was good to go down the villain route without being a crazy serial killer. Because let's face it, you don't get many of them in suburban Britain. Which is kind of like what we've just been saying, I guess. You can't.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a Richard Hillman.
No, I would challenge the idea that wasn't a long drawn out ending, because I think it was. It wasn't compared to some people. I still think
it was only drawn out because of the whole Craig.
Yeah.
I know something. I've done something bad. That was drawn out, but I think kind of the comeuppance must have only been like a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks worth. I don't think it's been too drawn out. I think it's been just long enough, I would say. What do you think about like his relationship with Eva and Leanne? Because he's never really won Leanne's trust, and do you think she's just going to be crowing about, I told you I was right all along?
Shut up, Leanne. I cannot just. Oh, hopefully Nick will wake up and shut her stupid smug mouth.
Nick. He's got to wake up. So he's like, what have I missed?
he just needs to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, we'll play it to him.
Yeah.
And Eva never really kind of got on with Karl because, like, obviously he's not her dad. And I guess for lots of grown-up people, when their parents start seeing something else, you're going to be a bit distrusting.
I don't think Eva likes anyone. She's always so scathing about everyone, isn't she?
Yeah.
So I think that you can't judge someone by saying Eva doesn't like them, because she doesn't like anyone.
Yeah. So that is what we think about Karl.
In good character, enjoyed him being in it. I don't know if he could come back, but what would he do? I don't know.
He won't be back.
I mean, if Stella goes, then there's no point.
Yeah, I think that's the last we'll see of him.
Okay.
I think he'll be. I don't know whether he'll particularly be remembered. How long was he in it? 2 years, 2.5 years, and he only really was worth watching towards the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased because I kind of liked watching him get his comeuppance.
Yeah.